Hey you guys, it's your girl Tessa, and I am so excited to be back with another journal through the Bible in the year with me. And today we are in the book of Leviticus. And when I've read the book Leviticus before in the past, I have not really had the time to get deep in it. I don't know. I've just never really understood the gift of God's presence necessarily back then for the Israelites versus what we get now. And let's just say I am so beyond thankful that we can experience God's presence without having to follow all of the crazy things that they had to do in Leviticus. And I take it so for granted. That was like my biggest takeaway from this reading Leviticus, is how much I take God's presence for granted. And I never want to do that. So without further ado, enjoy the rest of this video. And if you do not currently like and subscribe, go ahead and do so. And let's get into it. While I was reading Leviticus, it is crazy to me how much I would, in the past when I would read Leviticus, I just kind of skip over, like, oh, look at all these rules and laws. I cannot believe the stuff that they had to follow. Like, it was crazy, all these rules and regulations. And I know myself, I would forget and accidentally do something that would make me unclean or mess. Like, I just know that it just is a part of life. But God made a way for them to still come to him by helping them have these rules, so that way they could come into God's presence. And it was such a holy thing. And they were able to bring their offerings and sacrifices, and they were then priests that were ordained. And that goes into a crazy story of just what it looks like to actually live a life that's holy. And I think it can really relate to the church today and what it looks like. Obviously, we do not have all these laws and crazy things that we have to follow, but we do have the opportunity to experience God's presence because Jesus came. And when that, and like died on the cross, rose again, and then when he left earth, he gave us the Spirit, like the Holy Spirit, and we're able to experience God's presence, which is just crazy to me that these people in the Bible, they had to do all these things to experience that. And I get to experience God's presence any moment that I just say, God, I want to be near you. And I've had so many amazing opportunities to spend time in the Lord's presence. And I have taken that so for granted. Reading Leviticus just made me like remind myself and open my eyes to what it looks like to not only enjoy God's presence, but to want to live a life holy and pleasing to the Lord, not because of all these laws that I have to fulfill, but because I get to be in the presence of God. And like, if you think about that, you want to live a life that's holy and pleasing to the Lord. You don't want to just like do whatever. You want to live a life that you're like, no, I'm in God's presence. How would I react if I knew that he was right there with me? So I just feel very encouraged and just excited to spend more time in God's presence. It's such a gift. And yeah, anyways, so moving on, this is my finished up journal. I was obviously inspired by a stained glass window to represent like the church. And I said that the words that I put on here was holy and full of mercy. And that's what our God is. He is so full of mercy and so full of grace that he wanted to still spend time with us. And he wanted to still get to know the Israelites and just be in their presence. And so he's really cool like that. He made a way when there seemed to be no way. It's just a lot easier nowadays than back then, which I'm so thankful for. Anyways, I used watercolors and micron markers. Thanks for watching. And until next time, have a great day.